Houston has one of the worst run defenses in the league. This is a natural opportunity for the Niners to try to do what New England did to Buffalo a few weeks ago and just throw like 3 times, something like that, and just run over this team. Do you think it can be done?
I think that it can. I mean, we are looking at the Texans, who are the second worst defense in the league for yards on the ground. I was pretty surprised that the worst team in the league is the Pittsburgh Steelers, because you just think of them as an elite defense, but struggling against the run this year. Texans being the second worst, they're allowing 4.7 yards per carry. The 49ers are getting back all of their running backs, right? Elijah Mitchell may not be 100%, but he is going to be playing, which is critical for the 49ers. When I was doing a little pregame informational session with a dude from ESPN Houston that came on the channel, he was talking about how the Texans struggle to set the edge. And therefore, you could see with Elijah Mitchell coming back, that's going to be key, getting around the edge. And Deebo Samuel could certainly feast if they're unable to set the edge.
If you can't set the edge against the Niners, you're screwed. So the
Yeah.
Niners should be able to run all over the Texans. And even if they don't pass much, it seems to me the Niners should have a million different ways to run the ball. I mean, under center, from the gun, zone read. I mean, you have Trey, Deebo, Jeff Wilson Jr., maybe Elijah Mitchell. I mean, a million different ways to run the ball.
This game sets up, regardless of what you think of Trey's abilities, to be one where you probably want him completing, attempting 20 passes or fewer, because it sets up to win by running the ball, controlling the time of possession, and then getting after Davis Mills on the opposite side of the ball.
And what's interesting is I think Houston's going to try to do the same exact thing. They've had a lot of success recently running the ball. And if they can control the time of possession with their run game and put the Niners in a situation where they have to pass because they're running out of time and they're behind, that's a win for them. And that's what they're going to try to do. So both teams are going to have the same. It's going to be a short game, a lot of running.
Last week was the first 100-yard game for the Texans. Rex Burkhead was the one who got the 100-yard game, and that was against another team that really struggles against the run. The Chargers are giving up 4.7 yards per carry themselves, and so you would hope that Rex Burkhead cannot repeat against the San Francisco 49ers defense.
I don't think he can. Fred Warner's too good. Jaquiski Tartt, Jimmy, they're not going to – the middle of the Niners defense is too good. They're not going to let this happen. And I do think the Niners should be able to run at will. I'd just like to see Kyle commit to it and not just Trey running quarterback power. What killed me about the quarterback power stuff is there's very little misdirection.
Right.
But how about the zone read with him and Deebo? That would be the most potent zone read in the NFL. Like, there's no one Lamar Jackson can run the play with that's as dynamic as Deebo. Can we see that, please? Because we haven't seen it once. Not once. And that's probably your best run play this year. I mean, just those are the two best athletes on your team. I'd like to see that.
It sets up to have so many available runners that if Trey ends up with more than 10 carries himself, I'll be upset in this one.
It seemed to me that in that last preseason game against the Raiders, they were sort of previewing a little bit of this. Like, they ran the ball a million different ways. Didn't do very much passing. Let's see some of that. Let's see all the different little run plays you have for Trey, like all the misdirection with Deebo going one way. And why not? What are you waiting for? Because like the quarterback power stuff is just, or quarterback draw. It's like, okay, well, here I go as a battering ram.
Do you think this will be the classic week of Kyle holding something back, believing that the Texans are the inferior team, knowing that we have a must-win that following week against LA?
This is a must-win, Rob. This is a must-win. If they lose to Houston, forget about it. Forget about it. So, yeah, this would be a bad time to hold it back. It's January. Well, then they play. It'll be January. No, you can't hold back in January.
He's admitted it's a playoff game.